We'll ask Mr. Lewis to lead us in our pledges.
Pledge to the American flag. I pledge the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, join me in leading the vision and the mission. So we're gonna do the vision first. Be all
You can be at CISD.
Mission.
It is the mission of Clarksville Independent School District
in
in partnership with community
to develop
lifelong learners
that
become productive citizens
in an ever-changing global society. Thank you all. Let me see. Item number 5 is showing to be positive recognition.
Want to brag on our elementary kids. I've got our elementary principal here. I wanted her to kind of talk a little bit about what's going on her campus and the event that happened last week. So I guess you got the first picture up there. You want to kind of fill the board in on that?
We went to the pumpkin patch in Hugo, the kindergarten classes did. We took 42 kindergartners, 2 classes.
Probably felt like an ant farm then.
It did. The kids had a great time. They each got, to take on a pumpkin, and they have some great teachers. Their teachers were very, very generous, trying to make sure that everybody, was taken care of and everything. So they had a really good time. We also had a little music program last week, and was it week before last? Was it last week? The kids, I was really, really impressed with the program. Miss Malone, she's doing a wonderful job. We threw it on her kind of last minute. We're like, hey, we want to have a program. And she stepped up and showed out. And the kids did a really, really good job. I was very, very proud of them. There, some of the kids were playing instruments. They did some marching. They, they did their little rap, bonds, really like that. They did the school song. They did a great job. Very proud.
What I want to make sure that does not get lost in the moment is this was more or less the culmination of a promise that we made to our community. When we ran the TRE campaign to try to up our M&O rate, one of the things that we said was, what are we going to do with the extra money that TRE would yield? One of the things was, actually you saw 2 things that kind of relate directly to the TRE. 2 of the things that we had on there were field trips and making sure that our kids have opportunities that they ordinarily do not have and that we've not traditionally done. So you saw one, which was the pumpkin visit. Each grade level goes somewhere. It's what we guarantee our kids. And then the second thing we did with our TRE was we promised that we would hire either a music or art teacher. We didn't know which one because it really depended on what was available. What we wanted was a music teacher because we knew we could do a whole lot more with that. I did ask Miss Malone to do that, and she didn't flinch. She kind of got a little nervous because she just didn't know if her kids would be ready, but she's a perfectionist. But the kids really were impressive considering the fact that they've had school cut short by a week and the fact that, that this is the second 6-week grading period. You just wouldn't have been able to tell that. And you got the full gauntlet. You got music, you got singing, you got a little dancing. It was a little bit of everything. So it was a memorable night, the start of many. And so I told Miss Malone to make sure you get the kids ready because they have to do a Christmas program. And so I was just so proud of our kids and just so proud of the direction that we're going in this district and being able to keep that promise to the community about what we would do with those extra funds that we asked for. So the community's resource that the community is providing the district, it does demonstrate to the community who's paying attention that we are good stewards of money and we are doing the things that we committed to do. That's a good example of it.
The Christmas program, yes.
For sure, for sure.
Thank you, Ms. Deidre. Item number 6, open forum.
Ms. Annette Hawes.
Okay.
page.
You go ahead.
Hey, first of all, I want to thank y'all for moving forward with this bond. It is very much needed for our kids. People just don't understand if you don't work in it, how much it's needed. Our PTech program, two of our pathways were locked into is nursing and building. And I know that in the bond, it calls for like a CT center that's going to house nursing and robotics, I believe. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put welding, and I know that, it's been talk about selling vocational building. We need that building. I mean, where are you gonna house technology, where are you gonna house storage and maintenance? And then for future use, we don't know what programs we may have coming. So we'll take it away now, and we may need it for all that. So, you know, Mr. Ward came and talked to the kids, they were so excited, and they were so excited about, especially when he told them about the tennis courts and what you're gonna do with them, turn them into basketball courts or whatever, that really got them excited. But, well, I am, you know, what we're gonna do with that, you know, I heard the talk of nursing, but, well, we need well. In our PTech program, our first cohort, we have 16 students that are interested in welding. We take kids to PJC now for welding. We have 5 this year. We have more interested. So I'm just concerned about that. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I do want, I hope we keep that, you know, for welding and future use. Again, thank y'all for your push on this bond. It's going to pass. The claim it now.
That's right.
Thank you, people. So, yeah,
Right.
thank you all.
You want that? I know. I mean, normally we don't comment on comment.
All right.
All right, next, Mr. Paul Phillips.
Ms. Phillips? I thought both you gentlemen signed up. Are y'all speaking on the same thing or different topics?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, if you speak on the same thing, it's just one of you gonna be able to do it tonight. If you're speaking on the same thing, it's one of you guys are gonna have to do it. If you're speaking on 2 different topics, then both of y'all are welcome to speak.
Okay,
So you know you have 3 minutes to,
yeah.
okay.
Mr. Robert Beatty.
Yes, sir.
Are you the president of the school board?
Yes, sir.
If you are, aren't you supposed to be presiding over the meeting? I know the last time I was here, you was.
I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, I know, but.
So what do you mean
Being
preside?
run by somebody else.
No, I was presiding over the meeting. He is the superintendent.
Huh?
I was presiding over the meeting, but he is the superintendent.
I know he is, but he's not elected by the
Okay.
people. School board is elected by the people.
You're right, and we hired a superintendent.
I know you did.
Okay, so what is your,
My thing is, you ought to be out here with the rest of us folks.
he should.
Huh?
Who should?
Him.
Why? He's an employee of the district. He's
So
the head, he's the head of this.
we're paying salary, that's why.
And that's why he's sitting up here.
And, Mr. Ward, do you live in Red River County?
So I'm not going to engage in the questions that you ask. If you want to talk, that's what going to be my suggestion to you too. If you want to talk, you can talk, but we're not going to engage in answering questions. That's not what this part is for.
I know you don't, so it doesn't matter. You know, you don't pay no taxes here. And I don't think you've ever paid taxes here. The last time I was here, I asked you some questions and you didn't answer them. How much money does the school get from, revenue from the state and federal government?
We're not answering questions. You can say what you gotta say.
If you have specific questions, here is the avenue that I would suggest you go. What I would suggest you do is send an open records request to either my secretary, or you can send it directly to me, and I'll make sure you get all the answers to your questions back. But this is not, what you came here tonight for is not the purpose of an open forum.
Well, I'm just a citizen, you know, and
Right, and we're trying to give you the right
I'm
process.
trying to look out after my tax dollars. That's what it is. And I would have another question to y'all about how many of you know Malcolm X? Because I know him. And I respect the man. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, somebody else?
Yes, Stanley Ford.
Yes, sir.
Like Paul had just stated. For sure. Over the school. I respect each and every one of you on the school board to a certain extent. But you are conducted. Mr. Ford just got the button in on a deal that Paul was talking to you about. He come in on there telling you what needs to be done. That's wrong, Mr. Ford. Not put in on there, you were crossing. This is a parliamentary procedure type situation. The president of the board conducts the meeting, not the superintendent. It's board members, just like me out here. Like you said. Like taxes here.
You guys talk about.
I mean, wait a minute,
No,
Rob.
no, you talk, I asked you earlier, you guys talk about the same topic. You talk about the exact same thing you said.
You gotta get it to what we're talking about.
No, I asked.
If he's not paying taxes, I cannot ask there about that deal there whenever he's not doing it, and he's promoting something other for my taxes to go up, your taxes to go up, his taxes, everybody in their taxes go up. He's not paying one penny into it. We're paying him a salary to do our wheel. I'm for the kids here, 100%. If you'll give them a curricular activity to get them something over there that for those kids is in a learning position. Me out here running up and down this track tonight, that's all good and dandy once you get this other stuff in place for these kids. That kid is not going to the Olympics.
You don't know
I
that.
hope they, I don't want them
You
to.
don't
I
know
hope every one of them
You
will.
don't know that. You
I
don't know
hope every one of them will get the NFL, NBA, or whatever it is. But they're not going to, they need something to learn from. They don't need something other to help somebody else's curricular activity to get them boosted up in their little. That being said, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 7, discussion of 2021 CISD bond update.
Okay, just want to give the board an indication and a kind of a summation of what we've done. You see my schedule of who we talked to and who I spoke with. The voting is ongoing right now. I did talk to our kids today about voting and about participation in local governance, and then letting them know what the issue was about. I wish the board could have joined me in seeing the excitement on their face and the chatter within the audiences in regards to what we were doing. Surprisingly, most of the kids actually knew, but for the ones that was complete news, it was almost like Christmas. Interestingly enough, the thing that they got most excited about was the athletic stuff, and it was the track and the basketball courts. The kids understand the issue that it's an equity issue. We don't have equity from female athletes to male athletes. So it was just an exciting time for us. We've got one more week, and then the big day is Tuesday. Things are looking pretty good, and I just hope things continue to move in a positive direction toward ultimate success.
Okay. So item number 8, consider for approval staff development day for 11/19/2021.
This was something that we added to the board agenda, but as I looked at our calendar for November, I really, and I don't want the board to make a decision on that. We are already out of school again. It's a staff development day on November the 1st. And then we are proposing to come back on November the 19th. And I do have concerns about missing so much school or taking the educational opportunities away from kids. So I'm gonna pause on that. If we have to come back, I can call a meeting again and try to actually get that day. But I just want to talk to the curriculum team one more time. So that's not for consideration tonight.
Is that the student students?
Ma'am?
Is that their student students?
It's, no, the first is a staff development day, and then what the curriculum department is proposing right now is a staff development day again on the 19th. And what concerns me is it is somewhat back to back. And then we have to think about taking the educational opportunities away from kids. I understand the teachers may need training, but I just need a little bit more information, and I want the curriculum department to understand and know my concerns about, you know, November 1st out, and then you're talking about on the 19th out, and then we got another whole week after Thanksgiving out. I mean, after that day out. So
we got that whole week of the 22nd.
yeah, I think the
22nd,
19th is a Friday.
Yeah, 19th Friday.
So it is the day before Thanksgiving. I was actually gonna talk to them today, but I had several critical key members out today, so we really couldn't have the conversation that I
So
needed.
you're looking to make that a school day?
The 19th? It is a school day already. What I'm looking at to do, what I'm thinking about doing is letting it remain a school day.
Okay. So item number 9 is discuss and approve the purchase of a 15-passenger van.
Okay, really struggling with this issue, and as I explained, you'll start to see the struggle. That's one struggle. Part of the struggle right now is if we do business locally with JP Harvey, it is a delivery date of mid-January for that van. And then the other dilemma is the cost. Can you go to the bottom to make sure that's the final cost? 71,500. I think when we came back to the board, and what you all have an understanding of is that we would pull 60. So you can see the elevated cost of, or the inflated cost of vehicles. When you pass by lots, you just don't see them. And so that's the adjustment. Everything has gone up. So this is going to be a little bit more than what we've done. So with JP Harvey, it's mid-January delivery, $71,500. And then the alternative is we could buy. Part that I struggle with buying a Ford is we don't have a local dealership here. That's a Ford dealer. So we would be buying from outside of our city, not supporting our local industry, and not supporting our local industry. Let me add this in, who our local industry has decided to support us. And I think that should matter for us. So that's really my big dilemma, is that, and then the Ford is much cheaper. It is, well, it's not much cheaper, but it is a little bit cheaper. So Rivercrest just bought one of these, was it last week? Last week?
Last couple of weeks.
Last few weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, and their price, Judy, correct me if I'm wrong, what they paid was 63? 65. And now you can see just a few weeks later, our quote for the same Ford vehicle is now 69. The thing about the Ford is the delivery date could be, again, help me out again.
I think they have. This
Well-
is the bus place where we buy buses.
Okay, then the delivery date is instantaneous. I know that we always want to be good stewards of taxpayers' money. This is $2,000 cheaper. But before you make that decision, let me actually say this, or before you actually give me some input about what we want to do, let me actually say this. We are doing a golf scramble, and I asked for sponsors, and it's $500 a team to sponsor a team. JP Harvey did 2 of them. So that was $1,000 that he gave us right there. The way we structured this golf scramble, you can see all the artifacts over there that we have to take out there. The way we structured this golf scramble, it'll be easy to do this in the following years. And so the $2,000 that you save now could come back, and it could actually hurt you moving forward, because he may decide, what's that for?
$2,000, we gonna, no. we started with him, let's finish with him.
Okay.
I mean, $2,000, I mean, because people, they should frown on us, we went away from him. I mean, even if it's a forward, I mean, we get it from him, we take this shop, well, we gotta take it fixed, he get it fixed. Because I'll say one thing about him. Remember a year we were getting ready to go to training and the Suburban air wouldn't work? I picked the phone call, he said, I need a Suburban. In 15 minutes, Lonnie went down and picked up a Suburban for us.
And
So that speaks volume.
those
And
are the
then
things.
Friday, they had 2 vehicles in the parade for our kids to drive.
And so those are the things that when you're looking at the bottom line, you can't just look at the bottom line when you start thinking about that. So what Greg has just said is the side that I'm actually on, but that's not, I don't need to make that decision by myself, especially when we're talking about more money that we'll be using when we could actually get it cheaper. But again, in the long run, I actually think that we're better off just sticking with our hometown.
So what are you gonna do to January?
Well, we'll have to do it like we've traditionally done. Have the kids ride on school buses.
I thought that's part of the problem we got about it.
Well, we have to use our loans. We got 2 people that have their CDL license. They'll have to commit to driving until the end. It's just my take. I think this just was worthy and needed for a discussion. I didn't want to make this decision by myself. I wanted to give you all the facts, and I wanted you all to be in agreement with. Now I know me and Greg, because what Greg feels is what I feel.
I mean, when we're down for ag, we had our banquets. I mean, they always supported, they gave us free oil change or whatever. So I mean, the people there 2,000, like I said, Lisa down there, and I don't know how she does it. Even when JP was living, he would give us. So, I mean, we can ride out another 2 months. We've been this long about it, so.
I'm on that side, but I want to hear what the rest of the board actually thinks. Okay, now, the second part of that is, the cost is the cost. I mean, it's just the time that we're in now. So is everybody okay? And Judy is gonna have to put this back on the agenda, are you not? We'll have to go ahead and do another budget amendment because this is a little bit more than what we asked for. What the board should be comfortable with is the fact that we're not the only ones actually jumping into this and doing this. I just mentioned Rivercrest just bought one last week. Not that we're trying to be like them, but it just lets you know this is the direction that most districts are moving into. And we need to actually move with it because it just makes sense for us.
And it's most critical in track anyway.
I'd like for you to show a picture of those because I know last time we were a little confused about what we were doing. So this is what that looks like. Now, and so you can kind of see the room and the space in them.
That's only the bus. The other one is a van.
Which one is a van?
The Chevrolet is a van.
We don't want a van, we want a bus.
The Ford is a bus.
Okay, so I will take that and make sure that JP Harvey understands this is what we want. The other thing that I'll say is, y'all, we want to make sure that we don't want to just walk up in a white one. We want to make our kids have a sense of pride. And so we'll actually pay the extra money and get it wrapped like everybody else does and make it look real neat and have a sense of pride about it. So that's what it looks like. And thank you for clearing that up because I have to make sure we have to do that. Okay. So there's nothing to approve because we have to take this back and put it on the budget.
All right.
They can approve to buy it. We just can't approve to move the money yet.
Oh, okay, we can do that then. So,
Need a motion, I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a 15 passenger van.
and we get it.
Okay. I'm getting kind of curious.
Yeah.
The motion made by Mr. Lewis that we approve the purchase of the 15 passenger. I guess it's gonna be a bus. Second by Ms. Lewis, all in favor? Right hand, please. Motion carried. Item number 10, discussion and agree on team of 8, training on November 9th, 2021.
Okay, we are at that point where we probably need to think about making sure we're in compliance and getting our team of 8 training in. I have one tentatively scheduled and I'll confirm it after this meeting. November the 9th, we'll meet at DeKalb, and eat and be trained at the same time at the, is it Junction? At the Junction, restaurant. So just want to know, are there any nays? And if not, then I'll move forward with confirming that training.
What about the Dairy Queen then?
No.
He said that to you.
I know. What time are you talking
I think at 6.
Right.
I'll confirm that too and let you know.
So item number 11, discussion and approve CISD organizational chart.
Okay, we've seen this, so this will be, you asked for me, you rightfully asked for me to put this back and give you a little bit more time to process it and think. So now this is back up. We'll talk about the item in the middle, right up under me in closed session. But it is important to just go ahead and suggest that we approve the organizational chart, and we'll figure out the rest in closed session as far as the title.
Just through the chart.
Yes, sir.
If we approve the chart right now, nothing's gonna come back later on and say they approved it.
Well, we wanted to approve.
I know that, but I'm just making sure nothing comes up
No.
later. Okay.
She said we'll discuss one of them.
The only thing you're approving right now is what you see.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the CISD organizational chart.
I guess that-
As is.
As is.
As is.
Michelle, you did it.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Lewis that we approve the CISD organization chart, second by Ms. Cherry. All in favor, right hand, please. Motion carried. Discuss and approve the purchase of a school bus.
Okay, this is another one where I asked for a certain amount. School buses are high, they always have been. Normally a school bus is $90,000. That's what I came and asked you all for months ago when we agreed that we need to buy one. We've gotten our quotes back, it's 104. So it's $14,000 more. The $14,000 more doesn't take away the fact that this is still a need, and we still need to buy the school bus. What will probably help you make that decision is the fact that we did auction off, like we agreed to, some of our older, not used buses. And so it cuts that price in about, that increase in half.
How many buses we have in route now?
I don't know the answer to that, but I will make a note to myself and give you the answer to that. And Ms. Hawes may know that. 6. Okay.
When you say cut it in half, you mean $52,000?
It's $14,000 more than what we budgeted. What we made from the sale of some of the used buses that we don't use, that were broke, was a little over 7,000. So you're not really paying 14,000, you're paying 7. Yeah, if you take off the price that you made off the auction.
When was the last time we purchased a bus? I know we purchased one when she been here.
No. I think 2016, was the, well, I was here in 2017.
I thought it was 2017, but it was like an older bus that we bought.
It was, when you go back and look, all the purchases that we made were with old buses. We haven't bought a brand new. This obviously will be a brand new. So the use life of it, the warranty that comes with it and the use of life with it will be what you'd expect.
What is it, Greg?
We can't make it one more year without this bus.
Sir,
You can't push that on back of the load.
what what do you need to see if we push it back? What are we pushing it back? To see what happens.
How long buses that we on the trip we use?
Those are questions so specific. Yeah, I don't know that.
Cause that's what we mainly use for the trips, money.
What are you pushing it back for?
I'm just, you know,
Would it help you to know that we have budgeted the 90,000 already?
are we budgeted that in the first,
Yes,
okay.
it's in the budget.
That,
That helps.
so what she's saying is that didn't come out of fund balance.
Okay,
That came out of our budget for this
And we
year.
may have to talk about that later, the rest of it, but we can't talk about that tonight.
okay, we budgeted in, that's just different, okay. Everybody agree? I make a motion to approve the purchase of a school bus.
Motion made by Mr. Lewis that we approve the purchase of a school bus, second by Mr. McPeters, all in favor, right hand. Motion carried. Item 13, discuss and approve hiring of a full-time nurse for the high school.
Okay, you guys are gonna love this. We wrote a grant and we actually got the grant. It's a 3-year grant. It funds a nurse for the high school, middle school for 3 years. We don't pay the salary at all. The only thing we have to do is we have to make a room for them, which is funny to believe and accept, but the spacing over there is tight. So I was talking to Ms. Anderson about this today, and we've got work to do to figure out, and we think we figured it out, but we'll have to compromise one of the rooms. But we've got to actually find a nursing station for this position. What I will say is, even though it says discuss and approve here, we have already posted the job because the job is eligible to start November 1st. What I wasn't gonna do is hire until this board actually agreed and understood what's at stake here. The other thing is this extra nursing position goes hand in hand with our nursing certification, our nursing pathway. Because ideally what we want this person to do is come in and be a nurse, but also teach nursing to our kids 2 periods a day, 2 to 3 periods a day. We simply just need to find a space. And if we can find a space for a music teacher, we can be creative and find a space for a second nurse. This is a big win for our kids, and something that I just think will make the environment over there much, much better and easier. Doesn't cost us a thing for the first 3 years of it.
I make a motion to approve the hiring a full-time nurse for the high school.
Second.
Mr. Lewis made the motion to approve of hiring of a full-time nurse for the high school, second by Ms. Lewis, all in favor, right hand. Motion carried. Item 14 is superintendent's report.
Okay, just a couple of items that I just think are relevant that you should know. Right now, current enrollment 522. This is pretty much what it's been since I've been here, except for the COVID year. So we are thrilled that our numbers have kind of bounced back, and it kind of infers that our numbers are stable. The bus auction, we made $7,250 off the bus auction. It's funny because Lonnie told me that they came to pick the buses up, got them cranked miraculously, but then one of them broke down right on 37 before they got out of town. So we were here, right? So we were happy to see him go.
We get the money back?
He didn't come ask for the money back then. I think he already knew we wasn't gonna get that. Cafeteria report, our numbers are kind of on par with regards to enrollment and student meal participation. So we're in good shape with that. That is what they should be. And so we're periodically checking that from period to period. So I'm kind of happy about that. The golf scramble. This is new to Clarksville, and I was so happy that we've taken a big step in going down this road. These are the things that I think a community looks for from its ISD to do stuff like this, and then we need the local industry to be able to support us, and they've done that in a big way. We have made, Judy, you don't know this, but I just found this out between last time I talked to you. Judy gave me a report that we got $12,000 for our golf scramble. But now I can tell you we're up to 13 now. So we made $13,000 in revenue, we only spent about five, no, about five. So we've got $8,000 in profit. And I shouldn't say profit because the next item really kind of goes with what we're gonna do with that. But we need extra money to be able to do some of the creative things that we wanna do. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do with the 8,000 that I would like to do. So can you put that flyer up? So everywhere that we know, there's a shortage of, that's not the flyer. Okay, yeah. Everywhere that we know, people are either short on staff. It's one thing that COVID has wrecked, and I'm quite sure these two teachers in here can attest, we're short on subs. And so what we look at often is, regretfully, those classes are covered by aides. Aides that don't have the teacher certification. And so you have to worry about what our kids get the day that their teacher is out and we don't have a professional sub to come in and we've got an aide. So what we want to do is we want to have drawings for teachers with perfect attendance. We'll draw one cash prize every grading period with this money that we just raised. It's not costing the district a thing. And then we also, that doesn't have the kids in there. Do you have another?
She doesn't have the one for kids.
That must be up here. This is the one I had never seen, but we made one for the kids. We also need to make sure that we get our attendance levels up for our students. And so at the elementary level, they're giving, what we do, side bicycles? Hoverboard, that's what she wanted. We want to we want to do hoverboards to create an incentive for the kids to come to school every day during the grading period, and we'll draw a name out of it to see who wins that. And then we wanted to do one cash prize for middle school. No, one cash prize, one $250 cash prize for elementary and one cash prize for secondary. So $500 each of the grading periods that are remaining. And that will be $2,000 of that money on the teacher side. It's probably just a tad more than that on the student side. So that's how we actually want to use some of the money from the Gulf grant. Any thoughts on that?
Good idea.
Sure. Okay. Going to item F, fall dinner. I just want to remind you all, this is just an FYI, December the 7th is the fall dinner. So you might want to put that on your calendars. Mr. McPeters, I think we all have jackets. What I've done is I've ordered you a jacket too, because we want to try to go with the same jacket you have. Oh, is it
We dress up.
did we dress up the last time? It's been 2
You
years
think
since
Mr.
I did it.
McPeter to go in that jacket? And no, Charlie Hine left him out of there. Are you kidding me?
I couldn't remember how long it's been since we've been there, man.
Matter of fact, we wear our polo shirts. I'm not our polo shirt. I'll put that shirt because of we're upset.
I don't have, I don't
When
think
you get up, I can't get you.
I don't think we don't have one either.
they don't have polo shirts.
We got the polos, not a button-up shirt.
You got 2 or 3, get the white.
I don't have it.
Probably.
When you say the rest of it, you talk about the polo shirt pants,
No,
that's
we,
not dressed up.
no, we put a button up. We was wearing suits over there. Then everybody.
We just wear suits. It's fine. I mean, it's not gonna bother me.
So,
So,
however, I mean,
Yeah, we
we
were.
don't wear them jackets over there.
all right.
We going
You
to.
can give it a jacket, I can wear it.
Anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got a question. This, golf scramble, how'd you get the people
what people?
for the golf scramble?
The individuals to play?
Yeah.
Some of the vendors actually have noted that they're gonna play. So a lot of them were vendors who gave money to support the event. They said that they were bringing a team of 4.
How many teams you got?
I've got 9.
And when is it?
And
Again, when is it?
great point.
100%
So
chance.
tomorrow I'm going out because I need to work on a contingency date. And I can just tell you now, we're not gonna try to reschedule this for the fall. We'll just move it to the spring. I think it's almost certain it's gonna rain. And I'm really kind of disappointed because we really had everything ready to go and food and prizes and all those kind of things. It was just, I mean, we just gonna have a great time. This just would have been a great opportunity for us to really mix with a group that we normally don't have access to.
My original report, but I just wonder why I wasn't involved. I do play golf. And that's why I wondered, I didn't ask about me.
Okay, well, I didn't know you played golf.
Well, you don't know what everybody.
Okay,
That's what-
I'll talk to you about this after, Mr. McAfee. Okay, special call meeting November the 9th and 7th. I just mentioned the 9th. And December the 7th, I want to see if that would be a night. Because I'm thinking about actually having a different approach with my superintendent evaluation. I'm already thinking about it. So I might just want to just do it on the 7th.
That's what,
That's the dinner.
that's dinner, that's dinner.
Is it the same day?
And the ninth is the train,
9th is, right, the 9th is the train.
and the seventh is the dinner.
Right, I'll have to do a different date for December 7th. No, the 9th is a board, really, because it's, we have to announce it. Even though it's in DCAT. My last item is tips check. It is, what I'm happy to say is we got a $16,000 check, almost 17,000, from tips for simply buying things through our tips vendors. That is usually just a few $100s. But because we actually ran everything through tips, we got a big rebate back this year. And so we're really elated and happy about that as well.
There. Item number 15 is consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Ms. Lewis makes a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second by Ms. Cherry. All in favor, right hand. Motion carried. Item number 16